Snap is actually a service that is provided by Skali. Skali is the investment holding company, and Snap is one of its subsidiaries. The the service that Snap actually provides, it stands for Skali Netpreneurs Acceleration Program. So what Snap does really is to accelerate the business of any netpreneur companies. We come from, well, I mean, we are netpreneur companies anyway from the beginning. So we have that experience and we want to share it with others. So we were initially doing it informally because we had friends of the people of the same industry, and they kept coming to us, the Gafaris, and say, "Oh, can you advise me on this? Uh, should I go into this kind of software development? How would it be and all that?" So since we were giving free advice, we thought, why don't we spin it off as a proper business, call it Snap, and actually generate some income from it. So we created a subsidiary just for that purpose.
Um, okay, the component of Snap is rather simple. There's actually the analyst side of things. Then we have nurturing, and then and this constitute the main components of Snap. In nurturing, what we have is that we have a manager who look into all these companies, and these are all post investment, right? They look into these companies to ensure that these companies are moving on track as according to the milestone, and then we'll engage a resident netpreneur from the industry to help the entrepreneur out in their fields of expertise. Whereas for analyst side of things, this is constitute to the pre-investment, where we do look into the market opportunity, the management team, the financial reward for the investors, the product in itself, and the business model. See whether is it viable for the current time, or has it already been a sunset industry. So these are the components that involve very much in Snap days to days operation. We work together with Maybank Ventures to fund these companies, of which Maybank Ventures has allocated about 20 million.
If I may add, Snap whole big picture is to assist other netpreneur companies. So funding is one of the ways that we're supposed to help. At the moment, we have a collaboration with Maybank Ventures, but we do have sort of loose collaboration with other venture capitals to refer them to for funding.
So the reason of the collaboration with Maybank Ventures is pretty simple. It's a combination of the network and also the power of the biggest bank in Malaysia, coupled with the ICT expertise. Skali being the pioneer ICT, one of the pioneer ICT player in Malaysia, and over the years accumulated enough of experience, and also we being in the grassroots, we will understand what is the latest market development, and also we have a pool of business partners whereby we have a business relationship with. Along with this is it add values to the company that an investor will invest into, because we were able to add value in that and also mitigate the risk of the individual or company invest into these companies. Okay, these are seed funding, seed and startup. We will put it seed and startup funding. It's not pre-seed. We think that pre-seed is being
Pre-seed is,
taken care by Cradle,
yeah, that's
so to
right.
speak.
So
Yeah.
it's the next stage after Cradle. The natural step would be to come to us.
Yeah.
Maybe Ventures has approved 10. They've already invested in 9 of them. One is just waiting for agreements to be signed, and then they should get their money also lah. In total,
About
10,
about 15.
about 15 million.
Less than that. Yeah, slightly less than that.
And each company is about 1.3 to 1.5 million. As a 100% subsidiary of Skali, all of Snap's revenues would be recognized in Skali's books as well. There's an introductory fee for when we introduce the company, and then a percentage of the disbursements will come to us as
well. Startup companies, seed level companies that would already have a team, that already have a pretty decent business plan. They would know which direction they are taking off to. Also, probably some proof of concept of products already in place. This would be the ideal company that coming over to Snap for us to have a chat with them to see how we can assist them. The other group of companies would probably be the startup level company whereby they have already started off the companies, have 1 or 2 clients, and would like to expand further because of the cash position. They probably can't do R&D, go only service the client. So those would be also ideal company candidates. First
quite
time.
a lot actually. I'd
Yeah.
say about 10% of
Yeah.
the ones that, so times 10, so
Oh.
it's about maybe about 100 companies to get 10.
Yeah.
The 10%
Yeah.
success rate. Pretty much. Well, there is a plan to continue doing it, but it depends also on the arrangements that we have with the venture capitals, how much funds they have allocated specifically for Snap to introduce to them.
We have one biotech, the rest are ICT. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting mix there.
I think if they went direct and they've never ever applied to venture capital before, then it can be quite challenging. But if they come through us, we know what the venture capitals want because we've gone through it so many times ourselves. So when we advise them, we try to tailor it so that it is what the venture capitals want to see and what they want to hear. So the process becomes quicker. That's where we value add actually. And sometimes if they go direct on their own, the venture capitals are just going to close the doors in their faces and not going to explain to them why. But here we say, okay, why don't you go back and you refine a bit on your business plan in this area, or maybe you need to have a more resilient management team or something. So we will give them actual advice on specifics what they should do. So that's the plus point.
Yeah.
We do. We've got we're part of the Technopreneurs Association Malaysia. Tengku Faris is actually the vice president of it. We're also part of NEF and a few of the other organizations of the industry. So we know who would be the right people to mentor each type of company.
Yeah.
That is part of the Snap fees. Yeah.
Part of Snap.
Part of
Yeah.
Snap.
Part of the
Yeah.
Snap fees.
Looking at Malaysia scenario, the industry previous years, probably what we're looking at is actually we are introducing a new concept to brick and mortar, to old traditional businesses, and from there we hope to leverage on what they know of the new industry or new IT technology and to write on it. So we're actually creating a need previously, but right now there's less of us needed go out there to do the education or create such needs, because it's really a viable proposition to brick and mortar to understand that it's actually value add of IT being imputed into their day-to-day processes. So the market in that sense has opened up. So looking at that, B2B is very much important to our day-to-day lives. Banks are continuously using IT to improve their processes. Affiliate is a good example of things of which many other banks caught up to it. Having said that, B2B is important and is still going to be the element in our IT world. The new trend we are looking at is mobile application. We are probably looking at the very infancy of the mobile application, which is SMS. When 3G come into play, there are many things that can build on top of the mobile platform. It could be on the platform of 3G, or it can be on platform of SMS. Those are very important thing. Content being channeled through the platform of 3G. Those we yet to see. Games that's being played over the mobile phone is just at the very beginning. For example, Nokia recently have came out with a gadget which about this big of a size. You hook your mobile phone onto it, you can play Java games over the gadget. It's so much easier to play rather than hitting onto the buttons of the phone. So these are just begin to evolve, and a lot more interesting content program probably coming out from the mobile front of the technology. But having said that, internet, web, B2B, and those are pretty much here to stay because of the need. The need is being made known, and then business are adopting IT in their processes.
I think the government is doing quite a bit to push it. I mean, it's mentioned in almost every year's budget now for the
Right.
past few years,
Right.
just to create awareness.
Right.
All sorts of committees and councils like what
Mostly NITC,
Yeah.
BCom.
And then there's Matrade as well, providing branding and grants for specifically for the ICT industry. So that's new. I think it's just got to start somewhere. As long as we will go through the hurdles and maybe improvise later once we see what the problems are faced over the years. I think maybe the first time this year, okay, it's just loose that okay, you spend 1 million, you get 500,000 back, but it's still getting something back rather than nothing. It's a start, I believe. Yeah. I don't know. In my opinion, is it all boils down to funding, because to actually go out there and compete globally, you need to have quite deep pockets, and small entrepreneur companies in Malaysia don't really have that, and then the funding that is allocated to companies are also, like for example the I'm not saying it's not good. For example, maybe Ventures it's up to 2 million. That may be pittance compared to the US venture capitals. They may allocate minimum 5 million US dollars, which is 15 million, almost 20 million, which is the difference of 2 million to 20 million. That would be a good start.
And
But let's just wait and see how my trip works out first, because we need to see what the demand is and what the problems are and how they can improvise later and improve on things.
some of the multinational in Malaysia, like BMW, has been here for so many years. Volvo has been here since 1960s. They still use a local company to penetrate into the local arena, simply because the local people would know the landscape of the business much better. So it's a viable proposition. For example, if you want to have technology be exported to say Germany, we we will then probably hire a German who will probably know the business landscape, the culture, the do's and the don'ts much better than us going head on with some of the Germans out there. Yeah, it is a viable proposition. It's a worth a try. It's worth a try. I guess Malaysia company they're still very much looking at the foreigners technology. When the CRM just started, people are talking about provisions, CBOs, and those cost like millions of dollars. Only probably recent years, and we probably see a change of trend whereby companies begin to understand the need to probably use the local technology because why the local companies are here to stay. For example, the bigger companies probably set only a rep office and then off they go. In terms of support, that's lacking there. So yeah, companies are still very much looking at foreign technology to adopt, but we think that Malaysian beginning to open doors and start listening to our homegrown technology.
I think if there is a big price differential, uh, they might prefer the Malaysian companies as long as the specification and the deliverables are the same or comparable international standards. I don't think there should be a problem. Maybe there's a lack of awareness of a similar local company that can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that. Actually, in our proposals, we would include an expense for marketing in the fund requirements, but at the initial stage, maybe for the first 3 years. But after that, when they go on to seek further funding, or maybe they list the company or seek other kind of funds, then there'll be a different proposal. But in ours, we do add it in. Don't agree because you kind of stick around your own people. So okay, maybe in the same industry everybody knows you, but outside the industry nobody really knows you.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have more outsiders I'm sure they are invited, but the people who you see all the time are usually the people in the industry.
Probably the business model. Even though they have, let's say a company would have a product which is pretty hot out there, but if the business model is not viable in itself, then it will be difficult to carry it forward. But a mixture of a business model, the marketing capability of the team, the management, and also the reaping the rewards back for the investor. These are what usually we call the 3 M's, right? The market, the management, and also the money, which is the reaping the rewards back for the investors. If these things are up to par, then it will be a very interesting proposition to take it forward. Until unless these 3 things has been established, then a lot of things we need to work on before we can move forward. Mm, Insofar the web, we have seen quite a bit what it is today, what it has to offer for most of the company. Um, in Malaysia, we know very much that we are not really. It's not our trade to be being building rocket or science or aeroplanes to that nature, but we are very much supporting the needs out there. So as long as the technologies are able to support what the market required, that will be a good enough technology to begin with. If we want to search for technology that's only that can create rocket and science and bombs and nucleus and whatnot, I think that would be probably 1 of 1,000, 1 of 1,000,000. It's gonna be hard to come by. So in order to ensure that we are the next exporter of technology, we have to support what we have already in place and probably build the infrastructure around what we have. But having said that, mobile, probably I'm biased, but
Okay.
mobile technology probably is very much as its infancy, very much. You talk to those companies that provide the infrastructure to the telcos, they would tell mobile is just at its infancy. SMS is just it's just probably a dot in the ocean. Yeah, there's a lot more to come of it.